This is the type of poster board I use, and it really is a poster board. It's matted on one side, glossy on the other. I spray paint on the glossy side. That's because the paint doesn't absorb into the matted side, and it gives you a better effect. Everything's a little more glossier, and that's what we want. We don't want the paint to be absorbed, so that you don't want to use anything that's too matted. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it to the matted side. Okay. And I have a stencil. It's just a cutout that I've made. And you can do this for yourself as well as your signature. And since this is the matted side, it's going to dry a lot quicker. It's going to be absorbed into the paper. See that? Okay. So there we go. And that's how I begin my paintings. I start from the back, work myself forward, and I'm going to sign it. There you go. So far that's what we have. Now we can flip it over, and we don't have to worry about this side being, sticking to your table, because it's matted, so it's already sucked in. Okay, so that's what we have. Now, being that this is our first show, I'm going to show you the basics of spray paint. You're going to need a tool, and this is one of the tools that I use a lot. Okay, very simple. It's got a sharp point to it, and it's got a flat end to it. This is very useful for creating various effects. I use these tools as well, and these are just various bowl sizes. And this is what I'll use to create different size planets. As you can tell, there's various sizes right there. See that? So we'll put this to the side, and you can use cups, glasses, bowls, pretty much anything with the sharp edge. You see, the edge is not bent. It's pretty sharp, and that's exactly what you're going to need, because if you have the bent edges, it's going to remove some of that paint when you remove it. We don't want that. So let's begin with the basics, the principles, and that's how to create a galaxy. I know, it's a little weird, huh? Let's create a galaxy. That's simple. Well, it actually is. And you'll see a lot of spray painters do this. If you see them on the streets, it's actually quite a fast process, especially if you have practice. But I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to explain to you step by step what I'm doing. So first of all, I'm going to select 2 cup sizes. It can be 3, it can be whatever size you want. In this case, something like this. Maybe I'll go with 3. I'll put a smaller one right here. Alright, so this is going to be my planets. And with a little bit of black, and you don't have to do too much. And some of the problems that I've noticed with people is that they tend to overspray. This is normal. It's your first try, so don't worry too much about it. When I say a light coat, I mean just really quick. It looks almost great. You can barely see it. Just like so. Just enough to where you can remove these planets and know where they're going to be located at. Now again, with the same theory, I'm going to put my lighter color down. In this case, it'll be yellow. And my darker color on top. In this case, green. So there you go, folks. You're also going to need some magazine sheets. Magazine sheets are very important for the same theory that we use glossy poster board, because they're glossy. Paint doesn't seem to stick too much to it. It doesn't absorb. It's not absorbed by it. So we're going to take just a few pieces of magazine. Let's begin with this middle color. And this will give you texture to your planets. Just like so. So you just tap and remove. Tap and remove. Tap and remove. All the way around. Okay, or a shiny star right here. That means that if we're going to add a shadow to these planets, it's got to be on this side. Now this will take some practice, guys. So do practice. And all I did is just spray some of the planet black. And you see, when you do that, you'll have some mist. So it looks like it's transitioning from really dark into a lighter color. So it'll give it a 3D look. It's also important that when you do this effect, you put your bowl on top of it. Make sure you get some of the black. Like so. And just drop. Don't put any pressure into it. Just gonna drop it on top of there. Like we're gonna create an aura mist around them, so it looks more brighter, colorful. And the way you do that is just on the empty spots. Again, this is not very dark. You know, you don't have to have it soaking. Just enough to where it shows a little bit. Okay, so that's what we have so far, right? I'm going to add a terrain around here to make it look, you know, kind of cavernous. So what we're going to do to that, we're going to add some orange and some brown. Okay, there's the orange. Here we'll add the brown. See that? Okay, awesome. Now that we're going to work on this bottom part, but before we do that, we're going to need some white. Now there's different ways of doing this. The easiest way, less messier way of doing it, I believe, is you aim 45 degrees away from the painting and very gently push down. Now this is harder as the spray paint is newer because there's so much pressure built up inside of it. See how it's creating stars? They're off a magazine sheet. You're going to come in like this and just remove some of this paint. See that? Now, if the paint begins to stick, use clear coat. Clear coat will keep your painting moist. Awesome. Okay, so you can just go ahead and remove that. So it'll give you different layers. See that? We got the first layer, the middle layer, and finally a third layer. That's how you create layers in spray paint. Now, using the spraycasso tool and using clear coat, you can actually create highlights to the terrain. Actually make it follow a contour. See that? Coming through here. Something like this. Something like that, and there you have it. Bright star. Now what you do, and this takes a little bit of practice too, is right in the middle where all the points of the spray paint intersected. Come in and just, there you go, just a quick spray. Now, another thing you can do, and I encourage you to try this. Say you create comets. This is pretty much dry, see that? So we'll put our spray paint right here, and tap it. It's a shooting star. We'll try another one right here. Perhaps maybe even one right here. Right? Now we'll remove this. And there you go, folks. You've taken the first step to creating a whole adventure of spray paints. Let's take a look at those clips that we were talking about. You see the different layers and how we came in and added the highlights to them. Here we have an aura. We have our three shooting stars, 3 planets. And this can be either a bright star or a distant sun.